Good morning. So say a prayer for Chris. He's home with all three boys. I would call it babysitting, but apparently when you're the parent, it's not called babysitting, it's called parenting. So. All right, let me start with saying this. I have no deep theological insights this morning. I'm going to talk about something a lot more practical and deeply more uncomfortable, our personal finances. Yay! Now, I will spare you the bajillion depressing statistics that I read while preparing for this speech, but here's the gist of it. Financial strain in households is happening at all levels of American society, across all ages, across all education levels, socioeconomic backgrounds, and income brackets. And I start with this to impress upon us that this is an extremely common and almost universal experience. And even if financial strain doesn't affect you personally right now, chances are good it's been something in your past or it's currently affecting someone that you love. And one of the questions I've been wrestling with is if financial strain is such a common American experience, why don't we talk about it more? The truth is, the topic of money is just not deemed a subject for polite company. And there's a tendency to kind of squirm in our seats when the topic comes up, as I see some of you doing right now. Why is that? Well, according to the National Financial Educators Council, the two primary emotions that people experience when talking about money are what? Fear and shame. Fear and shame, two emotions pretty antithetical to the gospel of Jesus Christ. Now, I'm a good millennial, born in 1987, and as such, I believe in a well-integrated life, holistic living. I know that health in one part of my life is very much influenced by the next. I can tell myself that I'm keeping this thing that's causing grief and anxiety separate, but at the end of the day, my compartmentalization skills aren't that great. C+ on a good day, and I know I'm not alone in that. We're human. When our physical health suffers, so does our mental and our relational health. When I'm off spiritually, man, is it hard to be a good parent or be disciplined in my other daily routines. And when my financial health is strained, it puts pressure on every other area of my life. Now, I can't take credit for this. I am the product, by the grace of God, of parents who prioritized financial health, who spoke honestly about their finances, who modeled good behavior, but here's the most important thing. They talked through their mistakes with us so that we could learn from them. And I think it's taken me until recently to appreciate what a gift my parents gave me. Because I learned financial wellness at such a young age, I now have some of the critical distance necessary to evaluate, criticize, and challenge the system supporting America's financial institutions and whether these financial institutions are fair, just, and equitable. And this is the second reason why personal stewardship, in my opinion, has a place in our conversation during our stewardship season. It is very difficult to upend systems and engage in the power reversals of Christ's kingdom, everything that Nathan Fenner preached about last week, when we have the anxiety, the pressure, and the darkness of financial chaos looming over our heads. Conversely, when we have some stability in our finances with God's help, isn't it easier to live out Christian generosity and use our financial resources not for our own continued economic advancement, but to fund the ministries and the ministers that make real and right God's justice in the world? So yes, this is stewardship season, and we are collecting pledges of tithes and offerings by which to fund Holy Trinity's many and valuable ministries. But perhaps, just maybe, our personal financial stewardship is something we should consider during this time as well. Now let me end by making 2 points. I'm not sure who needs to hear this. I care, we care about your health, your whole well-being. And if any part of your financial health, no matter what your income or the size of your financial resources, if you're experiencing financial chaos or unpredictability or simply lack of adequate resources, If anything related to money is causing improper strain or stress or anxiety or frustration, that matters. And I want to encourage you to start a conversation with me, with a priest, with a prayer group, a trusted friend, or a family member. Don't be pressured or shamed into carrying that burden alone. And if you're not ready to talk, hear me on this. Fear and shame, those two emotions so often associated with money, thanks to this late capitalist hellscape we're all in, fear and shame have no place in our Christian life together. Secondly, for the rest of us, this is stewardship season for the parish, but I'm going to throw out a personal challenge for us to all take some time before our campaign ends to evaluate our personal finances for a quick wellness check and think of one thing we can do to enhance our personal financial stewardship. Maybe you're ready to commit to a year of budgeting or building up some additional emergency savings funds. Maybe you need to look at wills and trusts to make sure everything's in order in case something like, I don't know, a global pandemic happens. Or maybe having more frequent, honest, or more empathetic conversations about money in your household is your next step. Be that with your spouse, your partner, your kids, or your parents. Whatever that step is, big or small, glamorous or not, let's take it together this season with God's help. Practicing stewardship, not just with our tithes and our offerings, but with all that we're given, because it's all God's anyway. Thank you.